Hello everyone, welcome back to another Watch Me Work on my channel. It's been a while since I've done a Watch Me Work on one of my clients for you guys, and I asked in my Instagram stories kind of what more content you guys want to see, and a lot of people requested some more of my Watch Me Work videos, so I decided to film this client. We did some fall stamping. This client loves stamping, so I will show you guys from start to finish how I did her nails and her fill and all the stamping nail art. So just stay tuned to see how I did this. I also decided to keep this video in real time, so I didn't speed anything up. I did kind of cut out some of the boring parts and stuff, but I didn't speed anything up so you guys can see exactly, how I did it in real time. So first I'm starting by removing her old design, and for this I'm using, as always, my Zephyros dust collector, and I am using the T-Rex bit from Erica's, and this bit is absolutely amazing. It cuts down that product so fast. I can actually remove like all 10 nails, the previous design. I can remove it in like less than 5 minutes for all 10 nails using this bit. It's so incredibly fast. You do have to be careful with it because it is very, I don't want to say aggressive because that sounds bad, but it packs a lot of punch. Like it will go quick, that product. I keep it in a high speed, about 25,000 RPMs, and I am using it in the forward motion here. And don't forget, you can also use my code AMB10 to save yourself 10% off anything from Erica. So the bits and the implements, cuticle pusher, cuticle nippers, all that stuff. So I'm just going to remove, again, all of her previous design, and then I'm going to start on the prep work. Also, you'll notice that the dust is like all over the place, and it's because this bit, like when it cuts through the product, it cuts through like bigger chunks of it, and that's why it cuts it down so fast. So the dust is like actually bigger flakes, so I find that the dust doesn't like float down as easily. It like kind of, it's just like gets everywhere, but once I use a brush and like dust it all off. But you'll notice just that these flakes, you can actually see them, is they're like actually like, they look like little snowflakes. Like they're way bigger than your normal like nail dust. So that's why it's all over the place, because it just like cuts through that product so fast. Now on her pointer finger on this hand, you'll notice she has a pocket lift in the center of her nail, and this can be done from a number of things. And you'll see I very carefully right there get it out of the gel, so I remove that pocket lift. And again, you have to be super careful because you do not want to touch this bit to that natural nail, so you want to be extremely careful. So as soon as that pocket lift was gone, I stopped and did not continue to file in that same place of her nail because I don't want to damage her nails at all. And right now I'm just going around the edge of that pocket lift, making sure I get any of those little tiny bits out, but again, being super careful and like a super light touch, because I do not want to touch this bit to that natural nail in any way. And this particular client, she is a very busy, hardworking mom of 3. So every once in a while we'll get a pocket lift on her. It just comes from using your nails a lot, it kind of puts the pressure on that center part of the nail and it can cause the product to lift in the center. So if you are having an issue with that, you may need to shorten your nails, or just remember to not use your nails as tools because that can cause the pocket lifts. But you'll kind of see later what my process is for applying the gel on her to help prevent that. So for the prep now, I am using a cuticle pusher and I'm just pushing back her cuticles, and then I'm going to switch to my e-file again, and for her I'm using a flame bit. I find that the flame bits just work really well with her cuticles, so I'm using the flame bit in a speed of about 18-19 RPMs. If you are not comfortable with that speed, you can definitely use it on a lower speed. And I have it going in the forward direction. I'm starting from the middle of her nail, working from right to left in that forward direction, and then pulling it down the side of her nail. Once that's done, I'm switching to the reverse direction and I'm going the opposite way. So I'm starting again in the middle of her nail, but now I'm going from left to right down her cuticle area and removing any of that stuck on cuticle that's stuck to the nail plate. Then I am gently, very, very gently thinning out that cuticle area just to get any of that dead skin off and thinner so that it's easier for me to nip off or use my bits to remove it. Now using my Erica's Boss Lady nippers, I'm going around and just nipping off any of that excess skin that's hanging off the nail. Again, I say this in all my videos, if you're not comfortable with this part, don't do it. I try to be a little bit more conservative with my nipping, so I'm not like nipping like a crazy person. I just kind of get what is hanging off the nail and what's like flapping around, like waving at me. So that's what I get off. If you are working on a client too, always communicate with them and ask them like, is this okay? Does this hurt? Does this feel okay for you? So it's good to make sure and be in communication with them just to make sure that what you're doing isn't causing any pain, because sometimes they won't tell you. Lastly, for my prep, I'm just using a ball bit and I'm going around the sides of the finger just to polish off any of that dead skin. Sometimes we get like some built up dead skin around our fingers, and then I'm going around the cuticle area. And for this, I'm keeping it at about 14-15 RPMs and in the forward direction only. I'm just polishing off and smoothing out any of that leftover dead skin that's still around the finger. So before my gel application, I'm just cleansing the nail plate now with some cleanser. For this, I just used some 99% alcohol with a little tiny bit of acetone in it. And I'm just scrubbing the nails really, really well, making sure to get any of that dust, debris, oils off before I apply my gel. So to start with my gel application, I'm applying a primer. This is the Luminary Commit Primer. This so far has been one of my favorite primers. It's just a non-acid sticky primer, so it acts like a double-sided sticky tape. Then for my gel application, I'm actually using the Luminary Clarity as my base gel. And this is actually what I've been finding has helped with the pocket lifts, or if you have a client who's a lifter but they still need that really strong gel, I will use the Luminary as their base gel, and then I will use my stronger gel, which is my accents. I will use that on top as like the builder layer. I find that because Luminary is a little bit more flexible and it has really good adhesion, sometimes I have kind of a very small handful of clients where I will do this kind of a combination on, where I will use the Luminary as a base gel, and I find that it's been working really well for those clients. So they might need a little bit more strength than what Luminary can give, but they need a little bit more flexibility for their adhesion. Also, if you are kind of new and experimenting, with your products and getting to know your products, I recommend using exactly the entire system of a brand first before doing things like this. So if you are, using Accents or something and you're just starting out, make sure to use all of the Accents products, their primer, bonder, builder gel, whatever, before you start kind of mixing things around, just in case you have a problem. Then you might not know, was it because I used this brand's primer, or was it because I used this brand's bonder and I didn't, you just want to make sure that you are doing things the way that the manufacturer says you should do them before you kind of experiment to find out other things that might work a little bit better. It'll help you troubleshoot. So for the hard gel, I'm applying a slip layer all over the nail, and then I'm getting a little bit bigger of a dollop and just floating it on the nail and building up the structure. Then I have them put their hands in the lamp for about 2 to 3 seconds, and that's just going to flash cure the gel so it doesn't move around, and it's also going to cure it just enough that the curing process has started, but then they're going to take their hand out and then it's not going to get too hot. So it helps prevent their nails from getting too hot, and it also flash cures the product so that I can move on to the next nail. So once all of my gel has been applied and cured for the full minute, then I will cleanse the nails again, cleanse that sticky layer off, and then I'm going to file and shape her nails. So I am shortening all of her nails a little bit first. If a client wants their nails shortened quite a bit, I will do that with the e-file when I'm removing the previous design. But if it's not going to be like a big amount of shortening, then I will just do it when I'm shaping the nails. And for this, I'm using the Light Elegance Perfect files. I mentioned these files in my favorites video. If you haven't seen that, make sure to check that out because I share all of my top favorite nail products in that video as a nail tech, things that I use like on a daily basis. So now I'm using a diamond barrel bit and I am just thinning out the very, very edge of her nail, and this is going to help prevent separation from the natural nail and the gel at the free edge. So this was like a big tip that I learned that helped me for clients who have that separation. Use this bit and just get that very, like at a 45-degree angle, just thin it out underneath a little bit. Now I'm switching to a thin cone carbide bit. This is actually the preppy bit from Light Elegance, which is made for prep, but it is a carbide, so I decided to use it for this. But I'm just thinning out that gel all the way around the cuticle area and the sidewalls, just to make sure it's super flush and thin where it meets the natural nail. Something that I learned a while ago was that if your gel is too thick at the cuticle area or the sidewalls, it doesn't matter if it's not touching the cuticle area or touching any skin. If it's too thick around the cuticle or the sidewalls, your nails will lift. So that's something that I struggled with as a new nail tech for a while because I wasn't really taught that in school and I didn't understand like why weren't my nails staying on. And then it was like a light bulb when I heard that, like, oh my gosh, my nails are way too thick at the cuticle area and that's what's causing them to start lifting. So that helped me a lot. So I'm just using this bit to make sure it's nice and flush and thin around the sidewalls and the cuticle area. For her design, we really liked these stamping colors together. So the colors that we ended up going with was this really pretty orange, number 22, a little bit of yellow, which is number 8, this green for some leaves, which is number 77, a really pretty light blue, number 7, which is so popular for fall right now, and this really pretty wine color, number 40. And for the details, I used a dark shimmery brown, which is number 60. Then we tried to find the right glitter to pair with that wine color, which we ended up going with Cabernet from Light Elegance, which is that dark kind of wine glitter. And I also used Beamy Beauty Box Rosewood Metal Leaf Gel underneath of that glitter just to add a little bit more dimension. Then for the neutral color, she really liked this picture on Pinterest and there was this really pretty neutral color. We decided on the Beamy Beauty Box number 1 for that. So I started painting the Beamy Beauty Box Rosewood Metal Leaf Gel on the pinky finger and the pointer finger. And then I applied the Cabernet glitter over top of this, and this just acted like a really nice base for that glitter, and so it looked really nice and full coverage, and then that glitter added just that little bit of like that darker kind of wine color that we were after, and I think it made a really pretty combination. Then the rest of the nails had the Beamy Beauty Box shade in N01, and it's a really nice kind of tan, very light tan color, and it just acted as a really nice base for our stamping, so all the colors really pop and it's just a good neutral. Another tip is to use a detailer brush, and you can kind of go around the cuticle area just to kind of perfect that and get a little bit closer to the cuticle using the gel polish. Now for the stamping plates, I ended up using 5 stamping plates total, which is crazy. So this one is CJS number 135. I also used this one, which is so cute, which is CJS number 148. As well as this one, which is CJS Let's Collab number 13. It's a really great floral pattern, but you can change the colors to make it fall. This one, Blossoming Romance, which is one of my favorites, CJS V18. And lastly, CJS Let's Collab number 25. You can totally see my face in these stamping plates. So I wanted to show you guys, I am stamping this pumpkin here in the light blue shade. And I wanted to show you that not everything goes as planned, even when I'm doing it. So I tried to stamp this pumpkin like 5 different times before I got it. So you'll notice that every time I try to do it, I cannot scrape the polish correctly so that I just have the pumpkin, or I scrape it at a not the best angle and I scrape all of the polish out of the inside of the pumpkin like I just did there. And so you'll notice that I've tried all sorts of different directions. So if you run into this, try scraping at a different direction and that will help. So eventually I find the direction that actually works really well, and I was able to still stamp this pumpkin in blue, but it was super frustrating there for a second. So when stamping, you want to work really quickly. So apply your polish down and then scrape at about a 45-degree angle. And I'm using the clear jelly stamper, stampers and scraper and polishes and stamping plates, everything. Pick it up using your stamper and then press down to the nail. But you want to work quickly because you don't want to let it dry too much. Otherwise it won't work. Then I'm just stamping the outline with that brown. I decided to use brown for the outlines for this design instead of black because I thought black would be a little bit too harsh. Then I went ahead and added some flowers, some roses, some sunflowers, some leaves, some greenery, and just kind of put it all together in like a pretty like fall bouquet almost. Lastly, I took a dotting tool and I used that Be Me Beauty Box Rosewood Metal Leaf Gel, and I just added some dots of that glitter just to kind of add a little bit more kind of detail on the nails, and I thought it was kind of like the perfect touch just to add a little bit of sparkle. Now for top coat, I end up using the Magpie Like a Diamond top coat. This is a sticky top coat, so it's not no wipe, and it is a soak off top coat, but I've been really enjoying it lately. Like I really like it. So it is a little bit of a thicker top coat, but I find that it just adds that really nice like glossy layer over the top. So whenever I'm top coating stamping, I will top coat it and then get it into the lamp as quickly as possible. So I will do one nail at a time and then have her go in the lamp to cure it, because top coats tend to like separate over stamping. So in order to prevent that, I want to like get it cured as quickly as possible, and I will also do 2 coats of top coat over the stamp. So now I'm just cleansing the sticky layer off of that top coat. And another little tip that I have is when removing stamping off of the skin, use alcohol, not acetone, because when you use acetone, it tends to spread the pigment from the stamps over the skin. It's really hard to get it out, but if you use alcohol, it actually removes it from the skin without dispersing that pigment. Try using alcohol if you're having a hard time getting it off the skin and it's looking a little messy. Alcohol, I feel like, works so much better. I'm just refining the shape now, and then she's done. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I will definitely make an effort to try and film some more Watch Me Works for you guys. You know, I love that these types of videos can help you out, seeing me work on, real clients. Definitely make sure to follow me on my social media, and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. Thank you so much for watching.